All praises. Um, Double back on the. Let's make sure the sound is coming through okay. Can somebody check that? We'll make sure we're not getting any snack crackling pops going on. If we can, if we can. We're just checking the sound. We've been dealing with some sound issues of late. Uh, Hopefully it's coming in all right. Oh, the internet. Oh, okay. Okay.
My internet was down all day.
Yours was?
Yeah, ours was down. The spectrum was out for our whole area.
Oh, for real?
Somebody else reported it, and so when I went to go reboot our modem and everything, they were like, just reported that it's
Oh, the whole network was down.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. All right, move over some more because it's like half your head is up. Okay, you should be all right there. All right, sounds all right. Maybe a little bit, just to get the. I know it's okay. Ain't nobody on yet. And if they do know, hey, we trying to get it together. So everybody watching, they just gonna say, because anytime it's messing up, they be on there like it's static is jacked up. So we checking it ahead of time. So ain't nobody worried about it. Because anytime it's messing up, they be on there like it's checking it ahead of time. All right, looking like we all right. Looking like we all right. All praise. So today's lesson or this evening's lesson is going to be talking about pitfalls of Israel. Watch your step. I did this maybe about a year ago, and I think the content got deleted through YouTube when our channel got down. But nonetheless, I thought it was fitting to revisit. And I didn't get a chance to finish it actually. I was supposed to do a part two, so I'm gonna try to get through it this time. This time around. And I think it's relevant because of dedication and what that means for our people. I think we can all agree that there was a number of pitfalls that befell the children of Israel during the time of dedication, during the times of the Greeks. There was a number of things that our people got caught up in that was further away from the Most High than it did drawing us to Him. And then hence we lost the temple. We had the corruption of the priesthood. We had intertribal warfare, amongst ourselves. We had warfare amongst the heathen. So these pitfalls that was laid up, actually, is still relevant now because we're still trying to get our way back to the Most High. We're still learning about ourselves being the temple and how can we rededicate it to the Most High. Aladad did a lesson regarding dedicating ourselves to the Most High. Did a good lesson last night regarding resetting during the new moon and establishing goals for ourselves and self-examining during those times. So, those are all relevant. So let's look at some of these pitfalls. We're going to look at different aspects. We're going to look at pride, doubt, alcohol and drugs, lust, and clout chasing. All the pitfalls that happen to Israel. Everything that damages our nation, damages relationships, damages friendships, so forth and so on. These are all pitfalls that get set up, stumbling blocks, if you will, and it continually drags our nation to the ground. All right. Jeremiah 6. We're going to start at verse 19. Actually, no, start at 16. 16 down to 21. So the pitfalls of Israel. So we can start identifying, man, what's our target areas? What's wrong with our nation? Why can't we get it together? As much as progress we make, we talking about, the Great Awakening, man, Israel's waking up, worldwide, so forth and so on. We still be looking in the mirror like, damn, we still kind of ugly, though. We still can't, get this thing right. So it's a gift and a curse. Although we're waking up at a rapid pace, all praises to the Most High, we still have to deal with a lot of the folly that goes on within the nation. And Satan still got, traps lined up. And the Most High said he was going to lay up stumbling blocks for our disobedience. So it's our job to identify them so that we can correct it and walk around those stumbling blocks and not get constantly caught up. Go ahead and read that.
6 and 16. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? and walk therein.
So, number one, the Most High told us when we're seeking Him, we got to ask for the old path, seek Him, and then find that path and walk in it. Not run, because that's how it is nowadays. Israel is like, we want everything now. Microwave popcorn, push of the button, swipe of the screen. Oh, all of a sudden, I've been learning and watching Jake's Online for a year. Now I'm going to start my own channel, and I'm a teacher now, and I'm going to call myself elder whoever. It don't work that way. You can't be jumping on, sisters can't be running behind, I don't need a man. I'm going to jump on and start teaching my own channels and do it. No one that's out of pocket. We want to run through this thing. We know, and we've always said it's a marathon. The Most High said that we got to run the race. And that's what it is. It's a race that we're in. It comes with pace. It comes with technique and methodologies as far as how do you maintain and stay afloat in this race. Because plenty of people will run and tire themselves out and fall out and they done. Some just be taking too much time to kick it in. Then you got others who keep steady pace and stay focused and continue on. That's where we want to go. But the Most High said, once we get to that good way, start walking in that path. Yeah, I was sorry even told, hold on, give me Matthew 7. We're coming right back, Matthew 7. And I want 13.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
See, wide is the gate, broad is the way that leads to destruction. That lets you know, man, it's not where everybody's going. It's not the popular route. It's not the fact that everybody's trending, because nowadays everything's about what's trending. That's not what the Most High is about. Yahweh ain't with what's trending. We've always been the people that will go right when everybody else is going left. And that might not be the popular avenue to take. But it's the hard walk that we got to go. So Yahweh told us, enter in at the straight gate. Not this gate that, in contrast, and jokingly, but it's serious. Just in the gender bending mind frame that people is into now. Yahweh said, man, stay straight. Don't be doing this old tranny here, trans there. I'm going to buy this and that, binary that. No. Yahweh said, stay straight. To keep it simple. Enter in at that straight gate, straight up and down, okay? Wide is that gate and broad is the way that's going to lead to destruction. So when everybody gets caught up in the folly and the foolishness, know that destruction is near, okay? Read on.
And many there will be which go in thereat.
And there's a lot that's going to go into those paths because they think that that's where, the action is. That's where we're supposed to, because everybody else is over there. The numbers is over here. You hear that all the time. Especially within Israel. And that's we'll talk about that later. When it comes down to pride and arrogancy and vanity, because I've got 500 people in my camp or whatever. The Spirit of the Lord is here. I ain't dealing with you because you got 20 people. Is that necessarily true? I mean, if that was the case, Elijah would have been done for. Remember, Elijah said, man, I'm by myself. It's over. And Yahweh said, man, I got 700 prophets that's ready to grow. What's wrong with you? Why are you worried about if it's just you or not? I'm still dealing with you. And I got backup for you. So it ain't about that. Go ahead, read 14.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Right. You guys can write down 2 Ezra 7, 6 through 10. That gives you that precept about the water on the right, fire on the left, that narrow path and that hard balance, that we have to keep in order to stay straight with the Lord. That's that precept. You can write that down. But once we find that straight and narrow gate, we got to walk therein and continue on. And the Most High said, few there be that find it. It's not an easy thing to start seeking out. That's why, you sit back and try to wonder why the Christians and the Catholics and the rest of the, the religious communities can't understand the simplicity that's in Christ and the words that we put in it. Because they're not trying to find it. They're too busy trying to find out where everybody else is doing. And that's where Yahweh said that now you already lost. Because you think where everybody's at, you won't get lost. Where everybody at, that's where you're going to be lost. Let's go back. Jeremiah. And pick it up at verse 17.
Verse 17. Also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken.
So the Most High sets up watchmen to alert and warn the people, to teach the people, to guide the people, blowing the alarm, blowing the horn, which is basically the alarm, the spiritual clock that goes off that allows everybody to wake up, to know when danger is arising, to know when it's time to gather to worship the Most High, to make sure that our people are setting in order. But the Most High said, but the people of Israel, they don't want to hear it. Go ahead.
Therefore, hear ye nations, and know, O congregation, what is among them.
Mm-hmm.
Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it.
So we've got Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68, full of curses, full of tortures and oppressions and corrections and reproofs from the Most High. And he's acknowledging here through Jeremiah as well, through the Babylonian captivity, he let it be known as well, that he was going to bring evil upon us, even the fruit of our thoughts. We set out things in our minds, how we want things to go. We pre-plan, we want to do everything. And the Most High is like, please, my thoughts are not your thoughts. And then our people end up having doubts in the Most High. Is there a God? My baby brother got shot last week, and there can't be a God because he didn't do nothing. I'm the one that's gangbanging. I'm the one that's acting a fool, selling dope in the streets. Why did my little brother that's innocent get killed? Maybe because you drew that evil to him. There ain't no God. The Most High said, even the thoughts is going to be broken by the Most High, because we didn't hearken to his words nor to the law, but rejected it. So as we see in our people that's caught up in the churches and whatnot, constantly rejecting the law of the Lord, trying to make excuses as why we don't have to keep the law, why we shouldn't have to. The Most High constantly tells us that's the whole reason why he rejects us. Keep going.
To what purpose cometh there to me incense from Sheba, and the sweet cane from a far country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices sweet unto me.
See, the Most High said, I don't care where you're at. If you're not following these laws, you're not keeping up with the righteousness and the aspects of these laws, don't come up with no burnt offerings. Don't try to be nice to me. Don't try to offer up any of these abominable sacrifices to me, because we're not in order and we're not in alignment with what the Most High wants us to do. And it's the same thing that was going on during the time of the Maccabees. They had the priesthood. They had Jason, Menelias. They had Onias. When Onias, if y'all remember, he was the righteous one that was keeping the laws. He said we had no problems. Even the heathen was saying, you know what, we'll help donate to make sure that the sacrifice can get done. Until Uncle Tom came in and said, oh, he's over there keeping the money. They over there stacking up money in the temple. You need to go over there and check that. I mean, those cats, man, I said it the other day, they make Uncle Ruckus and Stephen from Django look like Black Power rebels. These guys was wicked as hell. Killing their own people, killing off the prophets, leading the heathen into our temple so that they can decimate it and desecrate it, offering up offerings to Zeus rather than to the Most High, allowing swine in, doing in 2 Ezra 6, sacred prostitution. They was allowing harlots all around. I mean, it was a mess. I mean, but you don't see no different. One of the brothers in Jamaica sent me a video. Church in Jamaica, I mean, they in there dancing and grinding on each other in the churches, backing that thing up. I mean, the sisters is twerking on dudes, and the guys in there going, this is church every day, come down. And I said, that's exactly what was going on during the time of the damn Maccabees. Dude, hold on. Do I have that? Y'all looking like that. That can't be real. Hold on. Al-Adai, you seen it, right? Okay. It was my witness. They're out there. I'm telling you. These jakes is losing their damn minds. Hold on. That ain't it. I don't know if... Yeah, well, I got it somewhere. But Al-Adai seen it. He's my witness. And they was out of control. Oh, here it go. I don't know if y'all. He talking about I'm a church. He look like he drunk. They in there dancing. I don't know. Y'all can see it online. Whatever. Y'all, I'll play it on DSTM so y'all can see it for real. They in there grinding the whole night. I mean, this is what was going on during the time of the Maccabees. In the second Maccabees 6, I mean, they was doing all kind of madness. Go. Finish up to 21.
Verse 21.
Yep.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them.
See, the Most High said he was going to lay out these stumbling blocks. If our people didn't seek the face of the Lord, he said, I'll lay out the stumbling blocks that's going to definitely have you collapse and crash. Jump over to 2 Maccabees 6. I made mention of it. We're just going to read it real quick. 1 through 4. That's how they praising the Lord now. The Most High said that's going to be a stumbling block. That cat sitting in there looking drunk as hell, talking about this church every day. Come on down. Like, they're really worshiping the Most High. They're really out there exalting the name of the Lord. Give me a break. Go ahead.
2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem and call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympus, and that in Garizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place.
So we see outside influences coming in, telling our people not to keep the laws and to follow the laws of the strangers. Well, what's different than the seminary schools, the Bible colleges, the loans that they get from the 501c3s to set up these little crack houses on every corner, giving our people false, strange religious doctrine? If you look at Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witness, Baptists, all of them founded by white men. And the list goes on and on. That's just a few. Mormonism, all of that, found by Edomites. And here they are, infiltrating, telling our people, don't keep the law no more. Actually, dedicate the temple to Jupiter. Go ahead.
The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dealt with harlots.
Well, dallied with harlots. So there they go, hanging out with the harlots at the temple, dancing and grinding on each other. Go ahead.
And had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful.
You see, that was the madness that was going on here. But the Most High said that he was going to give us over the stumbling blocks before this people. Okay, let's jump over to Proverbs. We're on Proverbs 13:10. Let's look at pride. I'm gonna get a couple precepts out of each category, give y'all some to write down, but just lay the groundworks on how we see these stumbling blocks affecting our nation and where and how we need to get back to rebuilding and avoiding the potholes. 13:10.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 10. Only by pride cometh contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom.
See, there's a lot of contention that goes on within Israel. It's in relationships, it's in congregations, it's in friendships, it's all over the place. The internet only makes it even worse because everybody believes in the internet now. Everybody believes in social media. So even when it comes down to texting, we should tell people all the time, like in councils and stuff like that, people texting, and you don't realize, oh, you had, the caps on, and you replying something, I'll be right there. It's all in caps. Why are you yelling at me? I didn't even trip that my phone was on all caps. I was just trying to let you know I'm on my way or whatever. But the nature of how, what are they saying? I guess the rules of texting, if you're capitalizing, that means you're yelling or you're supposed to be being assertive with your talk. Even that, becomes contentious now. And then next thing you know, it's a whole problem. And it could be a simple misunderstanding, something that communication could eliminate. Only by pride is it going to make a wife back talking wild out on her husband and lose her position as one who's supposed to be chaste, shamefaced, it, one that's supposed to bear the spirit of Proverbs 31, so forth and so on. Something don't go right. All of a sudden now your husband's a nigga. You talking crazy to him, all out of pocket. That pride will do that. Only by pride a man is going to reach his hand back and give him the back hand because he can't dwell with her according to knowledge. So his results is, you know what? You hurt my pride as a man. You out here woofing and talking crazy. See how the back of this black fish feels. Domestic violence goes on in Israel. I mean, we got to be real. I've counseled, been in it, seen it. That goes on. These are all problems that Israel's got to deal with. But it's all about pride. And that's where the contention comes from. The camp divisions, all that other stuff, it all boils down to pride at the end of the day. That's what the Most High is letting us know. But it's not only that. Go to Sirach 16, 6-8. Pride says, I seen the cap, man. And I tell you, I go on my Facebook to promote our videos. And then maybe at least twice a week, I'll scroll through to see what I've missed on my feed or whatever on my wall, right? And I just seen a post today. I don't know when the brother posted it, but the brother posts IURC and ISUPK are the best camps. Prove me wrong. What's the purpose of a post like? And the Jake ain't even from neither camp. Had 70 some odd comments, and the Jake ain't respond to none of them. It was strictly just because I'm going to start some contention. And let's just let the damn wolves of Israel come in and hyenas jump on the post and everybody say what they want to say. Oh, them Jakes off of that damn chart. Oh, yeah, I agree. Oh, I got to be loyal to GOCC. We're the best. And I'm sitting there looking like, and I'm looking for the Negro who did the damn post. He ain't responding to saying nothing. He's sitting back watching this all go on. And that shows you the pride bringing in contention. And then you got to look at a Jake's damn intentions. And who are you in Israel now? Are you an agent? Like, what are you doing to be posting some bullshit like that with no real purpose behind it? And you know, everybody don't like them brothers in their camps. Everybody don't get along or appreciate whatever them brothers do. Some of them was on there was like, hey, you can hate on them, but you can't hate their work ethic. I agree with that. I might not agree with brothers doctrinally on some things, but I'll never discourage the work that them brothers do. You can't knock them. Hey, our roots is from the old ISUPK back in the day. So, you know, I can't deny or smash on them like I don't agree or ride with how they moving, but the roots is the roots. Can't say that. So I looked at that. I said, man, this dude doing this just for some BS on some, just to stir up the pot and start a little fire for nothing. At least I didn't see the comment. I didn't scroll through all 70, some out of 80 comments it was, but I'm looking to see if the brother's going to defend his point. He's saying, prove me wrong. Next, you know, you got all these damn comments on there and Jake ain't said nothing. I know he ain't in no camp, but I'm saying, what are you doing? But again,
those are sugar honey iced tea starters.
Right. Absolutely. That's all that is, man. And then it's just like, you know, we got little guppies and beta fish. You give them that food, man, they get up there. They get to biting, especially if they're hungry, get the water line. That's exactly what Israel is. Israel just need a little bit of damn food, man. They just get to biting and wilding out. Only by pride come a contention, okay? But with the well-advised is wisdom. Sirach 16, let's read 6-8.
Sirach chapter 16, verse 6. In the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled.
See that? Only in the congregation of the ungodly is a flame's going to be sparked up. Kindled and burning. Go ahead.
And in a rebellious nation, wrath is set on fire.
See, that's what happens. In the rebellious nation of Israel, man, that's why the Most High keeps lighting our butts up. Because we constantly stay rebellious. We be thinking we on it, we got it the right, you know. Look, you have brothers in during the time of the Maccabees that they were saying, hey, we're right. We see Judas out there, man, he got a name for himself. We going out there too. And Judas ain't the only one with the spirit of the Lord. We're going out there and we're gonna make a name for ourselves. They went out there and got their butts whipped and slaughtered, and like 3,000 Israelites killed. And the Most High said, "Man, that wasn't your job. I didn't call you for that. Stay in your lane, do your job, and everything will be fine." But when you be rebellious, the Most High said, "Man, the flames is coming." And that's why we see our nation constantly burning. As much as we see the building going on and things are being established and all of that is beautiful. But always there's a little seed underneath of the a little ember under there that can burn at any particular time because pride can enter in and destroy something. Go ahead.
Verse 7. He was not pacified toward the old giants who fell away in the strength of their foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned.
And let's be clear, we know that there was a seed line of giants through Goliath. You know, he has 6 brothers, and he was destroyed in his pride through David. You know, we ain't talking about the damn Nephilim in the book of Enoch. That's not what that's talking about. Okay. But in their pride being destroyed, right? Go ahead.
But abhorred them for their pride. You want verse 9?
8. Read 8 again.
Neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned.
Where's the place Lot sojourned there? So Sodom and Gomorrah. He said he didn't even spare that place. Why? What was going on there? Go ahead, read.
But abhorred them for their pride.
What do they call it nowadays? Everything's pride with it. The Sodomite HIV community, the LGBTQ HIV, gay pride, trans pride, everything is pride laced. No different than what was going on there. Boastfully out there, living their abominations, man. Down there making it law, try to rape the angels, and here they go. The Most High said, this place can't stand. It's got to go. So he didn't spare that because of their pride. Go ahead.
He pitied not the people of perdition who were taken away in their sins.
See that? Taken away in their sins. That's how the Most High deals with it when it comes down to pride. Stay in Ecclesiastes. Jump over to chapter 10, read verse 7. So pride is very detrimental. And, you know, there's a good form of it and a bad form of it. You know, for someone to say, I take pride in my nation, I take pride in being an Israelite, there's positive attributes of being prideful or confident. But when it's taken into a context of arrogancy, rebelliousness, and contention, the Most High is not with that. 10 and 7, read down to 12.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 7. Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity.
See, Most High said that's one thing that he hates as well. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both one commits iniquity. So if pride is in the midst, know the sin is right there. They damn near go hand in hand. Go ahead.
Because of unrighteousness, because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Well, see, reflecting on the Maccabees, remember they was buying their way into the priesthood. Remember that? Menelaus was coming up saying, listen, I can top that. I'll give you 500 now and another 300 pieces of silver later. Make me the high priest. And then later on, we know about what's the other high priest, man, that was wicked during the time of Nicanor? Alchemist, yeah. Another one. Wicked is all outdoors. Desirous and prideful, wanted to be the priest, wanted to lead the way. And that's why you see it translated down during the time of Christ, where you see the Pharisees in Matthew 23. He said, hey, they walking through the high places, broad phylacteries, fringes swinging all over the place. They love to be acknowledged by the people out there. They want their names known. That's why even the Most High spoke about the flattering titles. He said, listen, calm down with all of that. Because what? It goes to Jake's heads. Okay. So it said, pride is hateful before the Most High man, and by both doth one commit iniquity, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and the riches got by the sea. The kingdom gets translated from one people to another. That's why we see how the Most High actually plays chess, and he takes down one kingdom, sets up another kingdom. We know that the so-called white man is more prideful than any creature right now. He even outdoes Israel. That's why he's going to lose this kingdom. He's gotten his riches by the sea. Has he not stole, robbed, created false peace treaties to establish his rulership here? This is everything that he's done. So his kingdom has to be transferred from one people to another. And we know by the scriptures it says that Esau is the end of the kingdom and Jacob is the beginning of it, which follow it. So it's going to be a transfer of power very soon. Read on.
Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sale.
See, and that's what happens. You know, if you ever wonder, is it possible for one to sell his soul? Absolutely it is. It's when you compromise all manners of moral, civil, ethics, ceremonial ethics, everything else. You give everything over to get and desire something that really you don't deserve. So we see here unrighteous dealings, injuries, riches got by the sea. Then it says that there's not a more wicked man than one who's covetous, who will sell his own soul. I remember Bob Dylan. I think the dude's name is Edomite singer. He had a 60-minute interview where he acknowledged that he sold his soul to the devil. And he said he's going to have to pay. He basically said that he was going to have success up until that point, until he's got to pay back what he owes. And I forgot the Jake's name that does a CBS interview. I mean, the 60-minute interviews. If y'all ever seen 60 Minutes, a brother that I always do the interviews. Yeah, the black guy. He did the interview and he said, hold on, are you saying what I think you're saying? And he was like, you figure it out. And he was like, so you're saying you sold your soul to the devil? Is that what he said? To the big man, yeah. All in exchange for fame and wealth. He admitted that in 60 Minutes. Continue on.
For such an one sitteth in his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels.
See, he gave up his. You know where the bowels come from, right? He liveth, he cast away his bowels. You guys write down Mark 8, 36, 37. Even that's when Yahweh even said, what profiteth a man if he gain the whole world but lose his soul? That's when pride kicks in, where nothing else matters. What you want is what you got to have, and you're willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to get it. And very many times that can come through bodily injury, that can come from spiritual sacrifice, that can come from a number of different ways of one is which willing to go to these lengths to get what they want, not knowing that the ultimate price to pay is if you get put to death and judged by the Most High in the lake of fire. Okay, continue on.
The physician.
Actually, I'm sorry. You can just drop down and read verse 12.
Verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departeth from God, and his heart is turned away from his maker.
So anytime when we got those contentious things that happen within relationships, within your congregations, within your friendships, within the issues at your job and all that other stuff, we should always tell Jakes, man, you can't blame Esau if you're consistently late to work and you get fired. And then you sit back and hold up, man, Esau the damn devil, man. You're gonna fire me. Well, what happened? Man, I was late, man, and they fired me for no damn hold on, you was late though. Was that your first time? Like, yeah, that would be well, ain't my first time, but he knows me. I show 5 minutes here, 20 minutes. I came back from lunch and 10 minutes late, man. The nigga had the nerve to fire me. Damn devil. You like, come on, bro. You can't blame Esau for you and your ineptness of not being on time and taking care of your business. Oh, you defending the devil now? You know he wicked as hell. It's about responsibility. It's about making sure that you take care of your due diligence. You can't sit back and blame him. But that lets you know, it said when the beginning of pride is when one departs from the Most High. So anytime that isn't the Most High about order, the Most High said even a man that doesn't take care of his own household is worse than an infidel If man doesn't work, neither should he eat. He says, don't muzzle the ox. And the Most High is about labor. He's about making sure that you stay on point. But if you wake up in the morning, you say, man, the hell with Esau, man. When I get there is when I start. Okay, go ahead. When you get there, and Esau says, listen, this ain't working out. You got to go. Okay, he blame Esau then, huh? The Most High said, man, you done departed from the way. I ain't raised you like that. And that's when you see how you're looking at Israel like, what the heck happened to our people? You know that, and that's where the tribal warfare comes into play too. 10 tribes be looking at Southern Kingdom as lazy. And our people, the Southern Kingdom is like, hold on, we helped build and establish this whole country. You talking about lazy? We was in the cotton field, we was building this, we was establishing that. We're continually laboring. And that causes intertribal warfare. You got that within Israel right now. You got the Negro onlys, you got the Northern Kingdom onlys, you got the no charts, yes charts, some charts. It's like, what is going on? The beginning of pride is when one departs from the Most High. And it says, and his heart is turned away from his maker. Somewhere down the line, the Most High is taking a back seat because of how you feel. What you want to institute into this whole thing. What you're not comfortable with, now the Most High got to take a back seat. And now you sitting back saying you're justified because of how you feel or how you think. The Most High said, that's not how I laid it down. If it's in here, if it's written, ride with it. And that's it. Verse 13.
For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination.
See, sometimes, it's a vast amount of things in this book that we read. And, the first thing that Jake might want to pop up and defend his stance is, did I break the law? Is it against the law? Bro, you committed all kind of offenses to this brother. Yeah, but I didn't break the law, did I? Yeah, you did. Your pride alone is letting it be known that you are departing from the Most High. You don't even want to be humble enough to even acknowledge that you offended this brother. Yeah, but when I break the law, okay, bro. I see this is going nowhere. You've departed from your maker. Let's talk another time. That's the beginning of sin. Go ahead.
And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly.
So we see what happens with Israel, man. We always get overthrown with strange calamities, having to serve our enemies, being overthrown utterly, going through the oppressive natures that, contrary to what we would love to be doing, is ruling in righteousness. Proverbs 14:34. Let's go there. Contrary to that. So what happened with the children of Israel? Remember, it said during the time of the Maccabees, wicked men came through and seduced Israel to follow after the ways of the heathen. They sought out license to sin, license to build the gymnasiums, license to wear the garments of the Greeks, license to go out there and establish the worship of Zeus and Jupiter and all the rest of the damn heathen gods. What's going to get us, out of this? Proverbs 14:34.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34. Righteousness exalteth a nation.
Money,
righteousness,
college degrees,
righteousness exalteth a nation.
Only thing that's going to exalt our nation is righteousness. We've got to get back to doing what's right. Deuteronomy 6:25 tells us that righteousness is keeping of the law. That's what we got to get back to, setting ourselves back in order in righteousness. Morally, civilly, elimination of pride, elimination of ego, instituting of more humility, more meekness. Then Yahweh shall say, the meek is going to inherit the earth. So the one that's got the nose up, chest out, and all that, good luck. There's not much meekness just in the profile picture. Jakes be putting on they Instagrams and everything else. Got the most flattering poses and everything else. I mean, that's what goes on nowadays. Good luck with that. But righteousness is going to exalt our nation. Go ahead.
But sin is a reproach to any people.
Not even just Israel. He said the sin is a reproach to any people. Most High takes account of everybody. He said, look, I'm holding Israel accountable first. Because they're supposed to lead the way. We're supposed to lead the way for the rest of the nations to understand and know right or wrong. But anytime we engage in sin, it's a reproach to anybody. It's a reproach. It's a need for correction. It's a way that the Most High will send down swift judgment on His people. Okay. Y'all can add your pride precepts, on another, as you go back over your studies. I just gave a few. Let's move on to doubt and how doubt is a stumbling block for our people. You know, I'm in my 27th year in the truth, and you've seen a lot of people come and go. A lot of people believe and be super zealous one minute, and next minute you like, hey, where's what happened to that brother? What happened to that sister? Oh, they gone. What happened? I don't know. Gave up the faith. They don't believe no more. From doctrinal changes to just overall having their faith and belief and thinking that this is just some trendy thing to follow, just something that's a phase to go through, whatever. And then when things ain't going your way, things don't go to to your pleasure, to your liking, something rubs you the wrong way, you're out of there, and you blame the truth rather than you had an issue with the individual. Why is that the Most High's fault? Why is it the truth's fault all of a sudden? Maybe we need to check how we were walking ahead of time. If you're sitting back already being led by and you're following one person, the Most High said, hey, curses the man and trust in the man and make it flesh his arm. And then when that man leads you astray and you say, man, I trusted that brother. That brother did me wrong. Man, this ain't the truth. No, that brother wasn't the truth. And neither was you for following him. But that ain't what the Most High told you. Don't do that. You went against the Lord. Don't blame the truth. John 10, let's read 24 and 25. See, that's what happened during the time. I always reflect to the Maccabees because that's the season. That's what we're in right now. What happened with our people? Here we are encapsulated underneath of these particular empires. They got the Ptolemy Empire, the Seleucid Empire. We're trapped in between the two. They're struggling and fighting over the temple and seeing who's going to get what. The Seleucids end up winning out. So here we are under Antiochus, and our people said, forget it. It's over with. We don't stand a chance against the Greeks. Didn't it say in the first chapter that many turn from their religions and start following after the ways of the Greeks? It said the heathen dropped it immediately. And it said many of the Jews also left their religion and started offering up sacrifices. That's the whole thing that we see with Mattathias in the second chapter. When the messenger for Antiochus came through and said, where's your offerings? Where's the sacrifices? I want to see it done. Mattathias, come on up, man. You're the leader. You're the head over here in Modin. If you do it, everybody's going to fall in line. You're going to be a great friend of the king. You're going to have great riches and the whole nine. How's that sound? Just come on up and make a sacrifice. Mattathias said, man, you got things twisted, man. I don't know who told you, but they told you wrong. Me and my household, we fear the Most High. And the hell with you and your swine. And what? Some old Uncle Tom came up and doubted and said, what's the point? I mean, we're under the hands of the Greeks. The Most High is not with us anymore. I'm going to go make up this sacrifice, man. The hell with you. I want to be a friend of the king, and I want that money. Mattathias slew his butt because he gave up faith. Mattathias said, man, if it's just me and my sons that's left to fear the Most High, then that's what it is. And we're out of here. And lo and behold, a contingency of Jake start following them. And just say, hey, we were down too, man. We ain't gave up. We ain't doubt that the Most High is going to still be by our side if we continue in keeping these laws. Go ahead and read that. John 10, 24 and 25.
John chapter 10, verse 24. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Christ, tell us plainly. Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry. Read 22 in 22 because it's all relevant. 22 down to 25.
Verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem the feast of dedication, and it was winter.
So that's perfect timing. Go ahead.
And Jesus walked in the temple in Solomon's porch, Then came the Jews round about him, and said unto him, How long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Christ, tell us plainly.
See, they didn't want to apply no faith. They didn't want to apply their understanding of the Old Testament and the prophecies and whatnot. They was just like, man, just come clean. We don't want to keep playing these games, man, watching you, following you around, asking you questions and all that, man. If you're the anointed man, let us know so that we can know that we finally done made it. Isn't that the easy way? Israel wants it easy all the time. Don't want to study, don't want to research, don't want to pray, don't want to fast. Just wants everything right now. Just as long as I know I'm Israel and I got my fringes on, damn it, I want the kingdom. Can I just have it? The Most High is like, it is not that easy. Everything that you want from me and everything that you've done, just by you throwing on some fringes and you know, coming popping up and showing your teeth at the Sabbath, that ain't enough. So here they are saying, man, why are you making us doubt? Now they blaming Christ for their doubt. You're making us doubt what you're supposed to believe. Read on.
Yahushua answered them, I told you, and ye believe not.
He said, I told you. You know a tree by the fruit that it bears. You see me do my work. You seen the prophecies come to pass. I don't have to say it. If you believed in everything that you read and understood, it would be plain. But you want it on a silver platter. You need the spoons and the forks and knives to go along with it. And a silver spoon. Go ahead.
The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me.
Go ahead.
But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you.
See, no one that doubts is going to be coming along with Yahushua. Yahushua can't vouch for one that doubts. But that becomes a stumbling block in Israel because why? You've got a plethora of different YouTube channels and information and naysayers on there. I mean, I don't know how many Christian apologists are constantly trying to put out and recirculate these old debunked videos that they keep talking about. How to answer a Hebrew Israelite. Why the black Hebrew Israelites aren't the true Jews? Why are the black Jews? And then you get these jakes that come in, ain't been in but for a hot cup of coffee, and they looking at the videos, and now they all twisted. Came in super zealous. Oh yeah, finally I'm an Israelite. I learned my nationality. I know about this now. Blah blah blah. And now you see a Christian come up and saying, "Well, if Esau is a white man, well, I don't think he's a white man because David was ready." And then they sit back and say, "Man, that is true. Man, David must have been white too. Man, hey, I'm going back to the church." Then you see the Revelation 1:13. That's not physical. That's talking about a spiritual. So a spirit had on the white robe and a golden girdle. Come on. These are all spiritual aspects. There's no color in the Bible. And then they just revert back to their doubt again. They just want it plainly. If he's a Christ, I just want to see it. Just show me. It ain't that easy. If we all could have that answer right now, I guarantee if everybody said you could time travel, what time period would you go back? If you had an opportunity to go back to the time of Christ with the opportunity to possibly see it, everybody would take it. Because that would mean I don't have to apply faith no more. That would remove all doubt. That lets us know that we all really don't believe enough. The person who said, no, I don't even need to go. I believe. I'm cool. I don't need that damn time travel. I believe it. But some of us in the back of my head be like, nah, I'd still want to go. I want to see I want to make sure I'm not off. That's how they was. And Yahushua was like, that you don't believe? So you're not in my sheep. Verse 27, and then we'll move on.
My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me.
So Yahushua said he's going to vouch for those that hear his voice, that really understand the prophecy, that are willing to go all in their beliefs, not doubt, not waver. We see what happens to the doubters. What happened to Lot's wife? You know, she got jacked up, looking back, missing, doubting, wondering if anything was going to be spared of Sodom and Gomorrah. Stay in John, go to chapter 20, verse 24. See, everything ain't going to be as plain as simple as Israel wants it. And there's, like I said, there's enough things out there now. Satan will have enough opportunities and operatives and agents out there to cross controversy and doubt. We're in an information age where you can have anything that you want damn near at the tip of a finger. You can order food, groceries, drinks. You can ask Google and Siri any damn question that you want. You're going to definitely get an answer back. You get lost, they're going to tell you where to go. I mean, you name it. We just got to looking at the little AI tech that's going on now is unreal. You name it. So now if this is the age and people are saying, well, 2022, 2021, so forth and so on, technology rules the world. Why should I go back and look at a book 2,000 years ago for answers when I have Google? Go ahead and read that 20 and verse 24 and read that.
St. John chapter 20, verse 24. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Yahushua came.
Mm-hmm.
The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, Except I shall see his hands, the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe.
So we know this after the crucifixion of Yahushua. Yahushua had been arisen. The disciples said, we seen him. Thomas wasn't with them. Thomas said, y'all lying. They came back and said, man, we seen Yahushua. Thomas said, man, that's bullshit. Y'all didn't see him. I seen him crucified. I seen him on that sepulcher. He's not back. Even though prophecy said he was going to come back. He was going to be seen again. They said, man, this was it. We saw him. Thomas said, man, please stop playing. He went to this extreme. Read 25 again.
Verse 25. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hand the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails.
He said, man, you can't come in and bring us some imposter, none of that. I need to see the nail marks in his hands. I want to see the print on his nail. I want to see physical evidence that it was really him. Go ahead.
And thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe.
I want to see where he got stabbed under the fifth rib. I need to be able to put my finger in there. Thomas was hardcore. He said, man, I want to see the blood and gut. I want to see the torture that he went through. If it was really him. Go ahead.
And after 8 days, again, his disciples were within, and Thomas was with them. Then came Christ, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, Peace be unto you.
Yahushua said, ask and you shall receive. He popped them and said, hey, shalom. He said, how about some y'all shot bracket thumb? What's going on? Go ahead.
Then saith he to Thomas, Reach hither thy finger.
You said, I wasn't even around, Thomas, but I know you. You was talking all that. You need to do all this. Okay, come on over. Reach it. Come on now. Thomas said, oh, Lord. Oh, no. Come on. It's what you need to see. Go ahead. Reach your finger. Come on. Go ahead.
And behold my hands.
You should look at my hands. Go ahead. Put your hands to them holes. Read.
And reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing.
He said, go now. This is the lesson. He said, I don't mind you re-piercing my wounds. I can deal with that. But if you're doing this, don't be faithless. You got to believe. Once you see this, don't go back and be like, nah, I really wasn't here, man. This is CGI. This is, this is deep fake. No. Blue. Oh, you talking about Project Bluebeam? Yeah, well, they got the holograms. You see Tupac out there rapping again. Is that really Pac? I want to see the 5 times he was shot. That's what the Negro would do nowadays. But he said, oh, you got to believe. Read on.
And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Yahushua said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed.
See, that's how strong our faith has to be able to read this book written over 2,000 years ago, to see the testimonies, to see the power of the Most High still be present in our lives right now. That's accountable for our faith. And shame on anybody who lost it and said, you know what, I don't believe it no more. because we was already given credit. Yahweh Shai said, man, blessed they that haven't seen and still believed. He said, Thomas, you right here. You doubted. I gave you what you need to see and believe. But guess what? Those who haven't seen and still believe everything that's been written, they're stronger in faith than you. When we've already got that to our credit, how can you turn your back on that and start doubting? I mean, it's just going back to Kemet, and not even back to embracing Africa and Egypt all of a sudden now because somebody told them, man, Moses didn't exist. Man, y'all didn't build them pyramids. It does. The Jews wasn't black, whatever. That's white man gave you that book, and now y'all turned out. There's a whole lot of folly that goes on, man. To have our people just saying, you know what, I don't believe anymore. It was fun while it lasted. Oh, I'm not having fun kicking it with the brothers and sisters no more. The feast days aren't as fun as they used to be. So I'm gonna go over here to this camp now, or I'm just gonna stay home, or I'm just gonna stop fellowshipping, or I'm just gonna try to figure out another way to fulfill God in my life. And before you know it, you all off track. Proverbs 23:7.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.
So that's how the Most High looks at it. If you're doubting in your heart, then you're just a doubtful person, faithless. And that's what ends up happening. Is that we see all of the distraction, everything that gets laid out in front of us, the stirring of the pot by Satan, man, making our people doubt, especially in these last days, especially in the times that we're living in. Sometimes people get caught too much in the literal. Last day, this is it. No, remember, everything we're reading about, Yahweh Shai even said, but the end is not yet. This is the beginnings of sorrows. So now we have to look at it and weigh it in the balance accordingly to say, is it the beginning of the end? Are we in the last day? Yeah, technically we're in those last days because we're seeing all of those things prophetically happen. That doesn't mean that the end is coming next week. Although it could. Who knows? Yahweh Shai said, I don't even know. He said, him nor the angels in heaven know. Everybody's waiting on us. The Most High is like, listen, when everything is done, that's when it's said and done. Yahweh Shai, the Alahayim, go ahead of your business. Until then, keep the faith. Okay? For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's how the Most High says, well, if you doubt in your heart, then you're going to lead a life of doubt. And that's when we turned our back on the Most High. So we can't doubt when we're in this. We have to continually believe, continually stay focused, and continue to stay locked in the spirit. Write down Isaiah 33:6. 2 Timothy 2:15. And Proverbs 14:26. Those are all further scriptures regarding doubt and strengthening one in their doubts. Okay. What else befalls our people? Let's go to alcohol. Alcohol and drugs. Our nation. I mean, we're like the poster children for abuse. You got these young jakes out here is mixing up cocktails of pills, codeine, cough syrup, Jolly Ranchers, and Sprite, and all kind. I mean, only Israel will come up with these wild drinks. Like, who's thinking about that? Putting Jolly Ranchers in Coke and lean and all this other stuff, like all to get them down. They sipping uppers and drinking downers, taking uppers at the same time, Red Bulls and who knows what. Then they chasing it with weed. All these damn different experimental GMO strands going on. Our people's in a serious mix of folly when it comes down to substance abuse. 1 Peter 5:8. The escapism is real. And even within Israel, codependency of you got Jakes in Israel that's fighting tooth and nail to say that weed is lawful. because they don't want to give it up. What I say? 1 Peter 5:8. Go ahead and read that.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
So he said, be sober and vigilant. So in this context, sober is meaning aware. That doesn't mean that you can't drink, or you can't. Scriptures tell you that you can drink wine for your often infirmities. It tells you still have to, make sure that you're regulating yourself and not abusing yourself. Okay. So being sober, being vigilant, meaning you have to be aware, you have to be focused. And anytime that you lose those things, you have to check yourself and say, look, I'm leaning a little bit too much on this over here to maintain and to move in my daily life. Maybe I need to go ahead on and scale back a little bit so that I can get back focused again. I seem to get a little too excited when I walk into the damn liquor store, the first place, or the grocery store. First place I'm going to is the liquor rack. When you really went there to get some bread. You like, hold on, why am I over here? Oh, they got this on sale? Let me grab that and the bread. That maybe you might want to slow down. For the Jasons out there, talking about weed is lawful, tell me I'm wrong. You off. Period. Number one, the Most High told us not to mix diverse seeds. So when you're dealing with all these new strands and these split up GMO crops that's growing in these damn lamps and these weed shops, you inhaling and taking in of some abominations. That's just number one. But here we see it here. Why do we need to be sober and vigilant? Our adversary, the devil, is walking about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. We're the prey. The target is on our back. Satan is constantly on the move, trying to make sure that he takes us out. And he's setting up all these particular stumbling blocks and traps and pitfalls to see if we fall in it so that he can have a free meal. The work is done. He ain't got to chase no more. We fell in the trap. We're stumbled. We fell. Now all he got to do is gnaw on us until we bleed out. So he said, be sober, be vigilant. Why? Because we're in the hunt right now. Satan is looking to take down anyone and everyone that he can in Israel. You think he's happy that Israel is waking up? You think that he's happy that this awakening to Israel is happening all over the world? Their brothers and sisters are now embracing themselves and turning back to the Most High, learning the laws, saluting each other in love, convocating together, acknowledging, exalting the Most High on his feast days. And so he don't like that. So he's like, listen, I'm going to have to try to, distort their sober minds and their vigilance somehow, some way. Proverbs 31. and 6.
Proverbs chapter 31, verse 6. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts.
See, so the Most High said, it's okay. You can drink some strong drink. You can have a heavy heart. He said, but to him that's ready to perish is almost like taking your last drink because it's over. You're dealing with a deathly ailment or what have you. Or you may feel like, hey, my life is over with, man. I had hell. I lost my job. My wife left me, everything else. You may have to pull up on the brother and say, man, I brought a bottle, man. you acting like you're ready to perish, man. Here, sip this, calm down. Let's talk about it. One of those that be on the heavy hearts, those is dealing with depressive issues or whatnot. Most I said, man, drink a little wine for your often infirmity's sake. It's okay. But don't abuse it. Even in Sirach, it tells us that. Jump over there, 31. Sirach 31. You gotta be careful now. Most High gives us a little leeway. He tells us even in moderation. You guys can write down 1 Timothy 5:23. He tell you, drink a little wine for your infirmity. What he tell us, drink in moderation. Be moderate about it. But read Sirach 31. Let's read 27 down.
Ecclesiastes chapter 31, verse 27. Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately.
It's good as long as you're in moderation, man. As long as you know your limits, as long as you understand and know you're A-okay or you're not okay. You can't be the brother or the sister at the feast that everybody got that eye and saying, "Well, hey, watch sister such and such, man. She can't drink nothing." And here she is over here. I'm okay. Well, you sisters gonna have to be like, hey sis, you might have to even hide it on her. We ain't had to do that in the past, you know. Brother looking at her, man, where's the bottle of it? It's all gone, bro. It's over. What? Jake's drinking all, yeah, man. Let's buy another. No, it's feast day. There ain't no buying. See how you already wet. You thinking that you can go out there and buy something. It's a holy day. Sometimes you gotta do that. Hide it on the Jake. But it's good if you drink it moderately. No problem. Go ahead.
What life is then to a man without his wine?
Yeah. You know, Yahweh Shai said that, you know, he popped up at the wedding. Said, where's the wine at? His mama came out and said, hey, Yahweh Shai, they didn't have a chance to get any. He said, what? Bring them bottles of water over here, them canisters of water. Turn them into wine. That was his first miracle on record. He said, man, mate, we got to get this party started. He said, it's all right to drink, but don't go wild, Israel. Go ahead.
For it was made to make men glad. Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind.
See, measurably drunk bringeth gladness and cheerfulness. Always makes the feast and everything festive and whatnot. It's all good. Shouldn't be over there every feast, man. There go brother A over there. Where is he at, man? He outside giving it up again, man. Calling Earl. Like, damn, he threw up last damn feast. What's wrong with it? Man, he be doing too much. Okay, cut his ass off. You gotta go and discipline. Man, listen, man, no drinking for you for the next 3 feasts. Sober up. Yeah, man, brother over there throwing up again. Where's the sister, man? She over there dressed all up in the air, all up. Like, what? That's not measurably drunk. But Israel doing that. But you see, how many of these Jakes, man? What was that? I forgot the video that Ratazan had with the deaths of rappers in 2020. And it was 107 that died through gun violence, and the rest was through abuse, drug abuse. I mean, you got these Jakes having strokes. They dying from lean and all that other crap. They ODing on pills. They hooked on opioids. They going through withdrawals because they all strung out and stuck. And that's one thing, man. You can get a Jake, man, out on the streets. You be dealing with them and breaking them down and all that. And you can smell the weed on them. You like, hey, bro, I know you smell like you like to, smoke. You know, you got to give that up for the what? I don't know, man. That's kind of hard. But didn't God say He gave the herbs for the fit? Now you know a little bit about the Bible. I thought the herb was for the. We supposed to be okay with that. No, you got that wrong. Except for meat, you supposed to be in. Oh, so I can eat edibles. I can get high for. No, you can. The supplanting, crafty nature of Israel, always trying to find a loophole. No, and that'd be the hard part. They just come in already with habits, and you trying to tell them you can't do that. You got to give it up and do something righteous. Go ahead.
Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind.
Go ahead.
But wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind, with brawling and quarreling.
Yeah, so you may see a brother, he's sitting at the feast and he's just sitting there doing it. And you like, man, what's wrong with that? He got a spirit on him. You just see him sitting there doing it. You like, hey, bro, you want to get up, man? The music playing, you want to play? Nah, I'm cool. Nah, I'm straight. You all right, bro? You look like you got a spirit on you. Meanwhile, he's in there thinking about how his wife left him and he's pissed off and the spirits is all upon him because what they call the wine or drink, spirits, right? All of them got different. Light got a different spirit. The dark got a different spirit. The wines all got a different spirit. Depending on which one he's on, may have brought up a whole spirit on him. And then here come a brother say, hey, man, you don't look too good. Hey, I'm myself, I'm all right, huh? Leave me the hell alone. And now it's quarreling. And now all of a sudden, brothers are brawling and acting a damn fool. You like, man, what? Hold on. Now brothers got to get in between. What's going on, huh? Man, I just asked the brother if he was all right, man. The Jake start tripping. Bro, Hike, you all right? I'm all right. You all right? Like now, that's another. Now you're arguing with two Jakes. She like, this Jake got a spirit on him. Hold on. What you been drinking? Man, I had Hennessy, plus I had tequila, and I had a glass of wine, and you like, bro, you done mixed all these spirits up, and no wonder you acting up. You not safe to go home, so go sit down over there. Now you sit down. Now it's a whole big old issue. I'm straight, brother. Take your hand up. You're not straight, bro. Calm down. That goes on. That's why the Most High said. Now you going too far. You got excess. Now these spirits start rising up. Bitterness of the mind, brawling and quarreling, all that happens, right? Read on.
Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offends.
See, now he starts offending people. The one thing, brother might be a little out of pocket. He might be shy on the regular, but he get the liquor in him. He's running over here bothering this sister and that sister. He's floating around and sister, hey, sister, I always want to talk to you. I've been watching you. You look very honest. You look good. Well, I want to know if I can break you down on the scriptures one day. You're like, brother, you never even say hi to me or shalom at the school. Like, what are you talking about? All of a sudden, now she's offended. Now you offended, bitch. Told you look good. Now you like, bro, you gone, man. Knock it off. Or you get, hey, drunkenness increases the rage of a fool, mentally offended. Sisters get to bickering and quarreling with each other over the most menial things. Mad because the sister got her head wrap up, look matching everything. Look at her. She thinks she cute over there with her little head wrap on. Instead of saying, man, I like the way I'm going to ask her sister, teach me how to do it. They don't want to do that. I figure out myself. YouTube will show me. The hell with asking her. Damn it, I messed it up again. Why don't you just ask a sister? Teach you. Some of them, nope, I ain't going to do that. Because that's pride kicks in. Sister's I seen you looking at my husband. You like, the single sister gets pointed out. Now they get a little drunk. They got their own little peanut galleries in the corner, isolating people. It always happens when they drinking. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, all kind of problems rise up. I don't know how many councils we had to have after feasts. Because some madness done went on. And always at the root of it, there's some liquor involved somewhere, somehow. Y'all know. All right. So we see how it can happen. It said it diminishes strength and maketh wounds. So sometimes they, involved in feeding that. I mean, it's the same thing happens in the street. Jakes is doing too much. Run around, you bump into somebody on accident, it's a fight, breakout. Then we just talk about that. The brother that the shot had a shooting at his own concert.
Yeah.
One of the I don't know who these guys were, some underground cat. Performing on stage, somebody bumped some cat at the club, and they get into fights, and cat ended up shooting two people in the club, and he was the one performing.
Oh my God.
They was down south, like in Louisiana or Mississippi or something like that. But that's well known in Israel. You see all these little rappers dying, getting killed in the streets, and all of that. All of that because of half of them be drunk when they out there and high on pills when they going out doing these little hits and licks on each other. So it diminishes strength, man. It destroys our nation, makes wounds. Then it's hard to seal the wounds up. You can't just come back and say, man, I was drunk, man. It was my fault. And then you say, okay, cool. And then next week you drunk again and you done did the same damn thing again. You're like, man, come on. This is getting played out. Yeah, DJ Quick said, yeah. He said he prayed the Most High get him through. He ain't gonna do it again. He gonna go to do the same old thing tonight. That's Israel to the T. Read 31.
Verse 31. Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine, and despise him not in his mirth.
Yeah, so it's okay. Let a brother or sister have a fun, but just monitor him. Be your brother, your sister's keeper. Don't be like, hey, brother, how many glasses how much wine you have? Man, this is my first cup. That should be it for you. You cut off. And he's like, man, I'm just in my little mirth, man. What you mean? I'm not doing nothing wrong. He said, don't rebuke him and be on his head when he's having fun. Go ahead.
Give him no despiteful words, and press not upon him with urging him to drink.
Right. So we don't do that. Shot. That don't go down in Israel. We don't be urging each other. Oh, come on, man. You get weak. Take another sip. Drink another one. Take another shot. Do another. You start urging somebody to drink, and then you realize that the problem is that now a brother them messed around, had a DUI or who knows what, and then you don't have no guilt. You said, man, she didn't have to do it. You should have said no, and try to absolve themselves from guilt. So that becomes a problem. So we got to make sure that we stand on top of those things. You can write down on Psalms 104:19. I gave you guys 1 Timothy 5:23, right? All right. So that goes on within Israel. That creates issues and problems. Let's jump over to let's look at lust. Let's look at lust. Let's look at that. And there's various aspects of lust when it comes down to our people. What I say, Psalms 104:19 to write down. Yeah, right there. Now go to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel 14:25.
Second Samuel chapter 14, verse 25. But in all Israel there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. From the sole of his foot even unto the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him.
Go ahead.
And when he polled his head, for it was at every year's end that he polled it, because the hair was heavy on him, therefore he polled it. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight. And unto Absalom there were born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar. She was a woman of a fair countenance. So Absalom dwelt 2 full years in Jerusalem, and saw not the king's face. Therefore Absalom sent for Joab to have sent him to the king. But he would not come to him, and when he sent again the second time, he would not come. Therefore he said unto his servants, See, Joab's field is near mine, and he hath barley there. Go and set it on fire. And Absalom's servants set the field on fire. Then Joab arose and came to Absalom unto his house, and said unto him, Wherefore have thy servants set my field on fire? And Absalom answered Joab, Behold, I sent unto thee, saying, Come hither, that I may send thee to the king to say, Wherefore am I come from Geshur? It had been good for me to have been there still. Now therefore let me see the king's face, and if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me. So Joab came to the king, and told him, and when he had called for Absalom, he came to the king, and bowed himself on his face to the ground before the king, and the king kissed Absalom.
Now, I kind of went off on this scripture, but what I really wanted to get to was in chapter 15 as well. You guys can read. I suggest reading both chapters. But when you read into chapter 15, it lets you know Absalom, who's David's son, had a lust for power. He wanted to dethrone his father, didn't he? He schemed and dealt treacherously with his father. He went, and when chapter 15 tells you, he went and won the hearts of the people, won the hearts of the people, got favor, and basically tried to hold the kingdom hostage until David said, well, forget it. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll sacrifice Jerusalem. I don't want to go to war with my own son. I'm gonna leave that alone. But that's what happens. And when you see lust for power that happens within Israel, you see it within the nation, you see it within the world. Everybody wants power. Everybody wants fame. Everybody wants glory. Everybody wants to be the man. Everybody wants to be the woman. And at that particular point in time, that's when you see nothing but destruction come in. There's no good that can come up out of that. When you want it and you desire lust and power and all of that, it's going to always destroy the nation. Always. So David's own son wanted what his father had. And now it's like, what ended up happening? The kingdom ended up getting destroyed, and David's household was in shambles. I mean, they had a whole rape that went on, and I mean, it was a mess. And the first thing we just got to reading was Absalom's hair, his beauty, his glory, and everything else. You know, he's puffed up. National thing. Everybody see, oh, the wearing of Absalom's hair is happening. Everybody go check it out. And now Absalom's getting the name up. Everybody's starting to recognize and see it. Oh, he's the next one up. And before you know it, boom. This is what happens. Go to Matthew 5:27. So read that 14 and the 15th chapter in 2 Samuel. And you see that history. Very interesting. 5:27 of Matthew.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of the old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
See, that's how deep Yahushua even took it. He said, look, even if you sit back constantly drool, that's why he said, don't stumble at the beauty of a woman. But Yahushua explained why. Because once you're stumbling, you're creating all kind of fantasies and thoughts in your head, and you don't even know this woman's married or whatever, and now you committed adultery in your mind. Remember, we just got the reading, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you're moving in that fashion, the reality is you just might actually go there and fully commit yourself to an adulterous situation. So Yahushua is letting us know we have to check our thoughts as well. So we're seeing that being promoted out there in the world already. Every music, every song, every movie got some sort of, I can say every movie. That's general, super broad in generalization. But we know that there's a number of different songs, themes, imageries that we see out there that promotes this mentality as being okay. All the time. Through magazine, like they don't even do magazines too much anymore. Online advertisements, from all the applications that they got, the social media, the dating apps, all that other stuff. It's all out there. And the world does not try to stop you from pursuing these particular thoughts, because now they're saying that that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't forget the law. It didn't. Drake set the standard. He said you only live once. YOLO. So and now he's like the biggest hip hop star around, a rap star around. So if he's the pattern of work and he's a measure for success, if he's the thing that everybody is aspiring towards, if he's the one that everybody's envying, well, guess what? I might as well be like him. Maybe he's on to something. He's got success with it. Go to James 1. He's had success with that frame of mind. But that frame of mind is going to get him burnt. And all those that follow along with it and think that it's cool. James 1, read 13 down to 15.
James chapter 1, verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yahweh. For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempteth he any man.
Right. So the Most High said, and don't blame me. Don't blame me for your temptation that you're going through. Because the Most High is not tempting anyone with evil. I mean, they've got Hebrew Israelite dating apps now. I mean, not even apps, groups. I know on Facebook for sure. Wouldn't surprise me if they got apps or something else going on out there. I mean, because that's the way that things is moving now. At least, nowadays it's almost like gambling. Compared to, and just using a worldly reference. My time, my era, you had to go out, you had to actually meet, you had to go to places, you had to work to get the phone number, you had to conversate. Now, all you got to do is open up an app, send 10 messages out there and DMs, and if 3 answer, you batting 300. That's like, that's all-star worthy in baseball. If you batting 300 in baseball, you down there all-star. 3 out of 10, you figure that's all, 3 out of 10, but that's still winning. And these jakes is out there doing it. Sisters doing it. Got their head rap song, but got the whole little background banners, and everybody can say shalom now. What's that mean? And as we are talking about counsels and issues, when somebody is talking about, well, how did y'all meet? Oh, I met her online. Did you ever see her? No. When was the first time when we laid together? Like what? Okay, now you're having problems in your marriage. Are you surprised at all that didn't work out right? How many other times have you done it? Well, you got sisters that been married 3 and 4 times, meeting and traveling different states, meeting other guys, popping back up with new Hebrew names and all kinds. There's madness going on in Israel. She done changed her name. Now she's somebody else. Now, who knows what trail of body she got behind her. Brothers doing the same damn thing, completely committing themselves to fornication and wilding out, attracting themselves to women. Women getting attracted to the man that's teaching online, all the popular cats out there messaging them, DMing them, and all of that. I'll be your second wife, third wife. Call me. And the brother gets caught up in the trap saying, oh, well, you know what? Let me go find out if she's real. Let me go travel down here to St. Louis and see what's up. You come back and you jacked up. Got to be right. Most I said, don't blame that on me. You can turn off the app. You can log off. You can delete your profile. Don't blame me. Go ahead.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
See? And what?
And enticed.
Ooh, her picture look good. Is that right? And then you see the pictures, catfish all day. she don't look nothing like her picture. You like, hold on, what? All the filters, kind of help a little bit. You like, it's more than filters, honey. You don't look nothing like that at that picture. And Al Jake is jacked up. Hey, you get enticed. Oh, yeah. Right. What'd you look? I look like Janet Jackson. He was like, oh, you look like that. Smokey come out. Yeah, Freddie. Craig said, man, what you look? Man, you lucky. I said, yeah, he wasn't too lucky when she popped up. But that's what happens, Every man's tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and gets enticed. So the Most High said, the only way that you can be enticed is if it's already in you. If you already desire anything, but if you lusting after liquor, drugs, you lusting after women, men, you lusting after power, money, doesn't matter. If it's in you already, the Most High said you'll get drawn away with it unless you start expelling it out of you and start recognizing and seeing it as a weakness or seeing that it's something that needs to be reproved or corrected and nurtured and sharpened. Okay, read verse 15.
Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
That's right. And that's what ends up happening. You die in the spirit, some die physically, we've seen it. I could say, shoot, within the last couple years, more Israelites that I've ever known of dying. Some horrific deaths. And then knowing some of their background, or at least one brother in particular's background, he was a lustful brother. And the Most High dealt with him severely in his departure. So it's serious when the Most High says, hey, when it's finished, it could bring forth death. So we got to be careful. Jump over to Galatians. In the last couple of years. Yeah, the last couple of years, there's been a lot more deaths in Israel than any other previous years. I mean, it should be rare that you hear, somebody in the truth died. Now, you have multiple people died just last year. And it wasn't just the vid. It was other things that the Most High, found reason. And that's not to say that everybody was doing evil. It's just seeing how the Most High is visiting Israel is interesting and something to be keen of. What did I say? Galatians 5?
Yeah.
Read verse 16.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
So we've got to learn to understand that and try to walk in the spirit. Always be reflective of seeing and how the Most High will feel or see when we're engaging in anything in our lives. So that's how we walk in the spirit. We see and understand what does it mean to walk in the spirit. Well, the Most High is going to explain it to us. Go ahead.
For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh.
First of all, recognizing that war is constantly going on. You're going to win some battles, you're going to lose some battles, but the war will continue. But the Most High wants us to walk in the spirit. That's when you start checking yourself, when you start trying to have recollection of scripture. You try to say, man, what is this lawful? No, that ain't lawful. What scripture is that? That's moving in the spirit. Trying to make sure that you're checking yourself, making sure that you're staying balanced, moving in the spirit. Go ahead.
And these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would.
That's always the stumbling block, and the part that always is hard on all of us is the Most High said, man, you always want to be at the premium, optimum, moving in the spirit, without flaw, that ain't the case. As long as we're trapped in this, Satan always got a means to stick to us, to try to get to us, to tempt us, to jab us, to, affect our pride, affect our doubt, all of those. Because the flesh is here, and the spirit is saying, man, the flesh wants to get to the driver's seat. The flesh is always pushing back like, no, I got this. That's why when we fast, you deny the flesh gets weak, the spirit rises to the occasion and says, I got it from here. Let's realize, I don't know how often anybody fasts, but everybody does at least once a year in atonement. Don't you feel more clear, more focused, more locked in the spirit when you're fasting on that day of atonement? The flesh don't have opportunity to even kind of trying to creep in. And it might. It'll creep in and say, aren't you hungry? Aren't you thirsty? You smell that? You want to pray and study, and the flesh puts you to sleep and all of that. You like, but sometimes you still be in the spirit when you fast, and you like, man, I'm not even tired. I'm moving. And you just be staying in the spirit. That's when that flesh is getting weak and the flesh is pissed off. Can't wait till the sun go down. Yes, feed me so I can get back in control again. He's like, God dang it. Started off strong, now I'm off. So that's how the flesh works. Write down Genesis 38 and 11. Genesis 38 and 11. And let me see where I want. 38 and 11. I want to start at 38, but let's read down. Read down to let's see. You might as well read down to the end. But that's about Judah. Remember Judah and his engagements with Tamar and him entertaining the harlot. You got Negroes out there that's advising that it's okay to sleep with harlots and go get your little prostitutes and all of that. That's completely off. Completely off. Judah was off for doing that. But then they sit back and say, all of this is okay. And you run into this particular scripture. But see what the overall understanding was and why he did that. So 11 down to 30 to get that. Because we're seeing the bloodline of Yahushua being established through that. Genesis 39 and 7. And you can read down to the end of that chapter. Because it tells you about Potiphar's wife coming at Joseph. Some brothers may find themselves in their positions. Brother trying to be a strong single brother, dedicate himself to the Lord, trying to be the next Paul. And his sister's flooding your DM and calling you and, brother, I need counsel, brother. Brother, can you help me? Brother, can you come over? Brother, I made you a gird. Brother, I made you dinner. Come on up. And the brother's constantly being bombarded and being tempted. And next thing you know, she's saying, hey, take it or else. I'm going to say you did. Well, Joseph had every opportunity. He said, man, heck no. I'm not laying with you. And she ran off and accused him of rape and all of that. He had to go through his tribulation. But it just shows you, as a single man, you're going to go through temptations and the woman throwing herself at you, and you got to be disciplined. Or make a right choice. Nobody's saying you can't get married, but hey, do it right. Don't be like, dippling and dabbling and tasting and tattering. No. That's out. Got to do it right. Sirach 25:21, write that one down. We're going to go to Sirach 19 and 2. Sirach 25 21. Let's read 19 and 2.
Ecclesiastes chapter 19, verse 2. Wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent.
See, that's why we said Judah was off, okay, and seeking a harlot. And wine and women is a deadly combination. You know, this is for the brothers. Got to be careful because this has been a cause of issue within Israel. The wine coming in, the discretion is gone, and before you know it, there's a pop-up. Hey, you know, we're married now. And you're like, well, when did this go down? Girl, just last week. You know, you saying, wait a minute, I thought y'all was just, I didn't even know you liked the brother. Well, I actually didn't, but you know, he was looking cute that night, and you know, the Most High just moved the spirit on us, and you're like, what? And no, the Most High did not move no damn spirit. That was the spirit of the wine. And now y'all sitting back talking about, I don't like her no more. She lied to me. She seduced me. She gave me the wine. She know I can't handle it. Brother, you put yourself in that position. Don't blame it on the sister. The sister knew what she was doing. You just got caught slipping. You're supposed to have the better discernment to making the right choices. A man of understanding can fall away like that. We see it with Solomon. He didn't even need no wine. But he went about his business, right? So these are all things that we got to be conscious of when it comes down to our engagements with lusting, whether it be for power, whether it be for physical desires or whatnot. We got to stay on top of those things because those definitely will make one of understanding fall away and the destruction of our nation. It ruins some marriages. You know, people jump in and not making right decisions and not realizing, you know, a year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, hey, I don't like this nigga no more. Or she done gained 200 pounds. She told me she always work out, she fit and all of this, man. She ain't worked out since we've been together. Well, hey, she sold you a lemon, man. What you gonna do? Motivate her to work out, you know, take her out. Limit the budget on the food. You can't give her, let her go out and buy all the groceries no more. Maybe you got to do it. Who knows? You know, but there ain't no reason to say it's all over with. 2 Corinthians 10, read 4 and 5. And then y'all can write down 2 Timothy 2 and 22. 2 Corinthians 10, 4 and 5. A couple more and then we're going to close out. 2 Corinthians 10, 4 and 5. And write down 2 Timothy 2 and verse 22.
2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
We've got to always rely when we get caught in them tempting situations, when the lust arises, when we see ourselves in compromised positions or whatnot, we've got to go back into the spirit of things. When Yahushua was tempted, when he came out for that 40-day fast, and Satan popped up and said, you hungry? You the son of man, make them stones bread. Prove it. He said, man, what? Man shall not live by bread alone. He utilized the scriptures to combat them spirits that came up on him. That's what we got to learn to do. Rather than trying to figure out our own methods and, you know, just saying, oh, forget it. I'm just for all this time. I'm just do it. But we got to rely on what the Most High gave us as a blueprint to fight off when we see what Yahushua did. So the weapons of warfare aren't carnal, but mighty through the Most High to pulling down the strongholds. Go ahead.
Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringeth into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
See, we'll overcome those things when we're ready to be obedient. When we're really ready to succumb to the Most High, man, and really submit ourselves to the Lord and be obedient in all manners, that's when the Most High will cast them things up off of us. He said, but when you have a readiness to revenge all the disobedience, you got to be ready to go to war against these things. Then the Most High said, when your obedience is fulfilled, then we'll go ahead and start casting down the imaginations and anything that exalts itself above the Most High and put it in captivity. All right? We got to be submissive to that. Let's look at cloud chasing real quick. Cloud chasing is synonymous almost with pride, but it's even more prevalent within Israel. I gave an example earlier Job 15:31. Let's get a couple in here. You know, social media now has made it more palatable to be a internet personality now. You know, even in Israel, we take on monikers and names and marketing and everything else and becoming internet superstars. And most brothers are just doing their work sincerely, I hope, you know. But you still have the opportunity to uh, make money off of the internet now, off your teachings and things like that. It's one thing people are donating, it's all good. But when you constantly panhandling and sending your donations, we need the money, I need the money. There might be a little bit more of an ulterior motive that might be proclaiming themselves in the midst. Read 31.
Job chapter 15, verse 31. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his recompense.
Vanity is going to be one's reward. Okay. So we can't get caught in this cloud chasing era. That's what everybody's doing. We're all victims of clickbaiting and all that other stuff, but the content has to be relevant to your clickbait. Don't be doing clickbaiting and putting up a picture and it has nothing to do with your video. That's just complete cloud chasing. That becomes a tool to draw views. You know, people get caught in the views, get caught in how many people's on your lives, how many quote unquote followers you have. You know, at that point, that's when you're starting to have a godlike mentality because you want people to follow you. Well, we're supposed to be following Yahweh Shai. We're supposed to be following the Most High. But when you start establishing your status on how many people are quote following you, that can't do nothing but enhance your ego. It can't do nothing but enhance your pride. When you're looking at how many thousands and hundreds of millions of views that you're getting and you're looking at your competition with it, that becomes an issue. And it's easy to get sucked into that because everybody wants to be relevant. Everybody wants a face. Everybody wants to be recognized. Everybody wants their works to be seen. And that's all cool, but don't let it get to your head. What's the sister's name?
John Corn.
Gene Con? Yeah. Gene Con. Don't let it get to your head. Straight up. Dum, dum, dum. Dum, dum, dum. That's it. Don't let it get to your head, man, because that's the environment that the internet sets up. You know, we've said it from the jump, man. It's a gift and a curse. It's a foolproof method of spreading the gospel and doing the work of the Lord and all of that, but it can also be a pitfall to where jakes fall into their own fame, fall into their own hype. And that becomes a deterrent when it comes to staying focused on the kingdom. All right. The rappers is doing it. Everything is cloud-based, you know, everything is on the phone. Bystander apathy goes down. It's a fight happening. Woman gets robbed. Jake laid out on the ground, look like he's dead. And the only thing somebody do is pull out a phone. Rather than saying, are you okay? Hey, what's going on? Hey, break it up. Oh, shoot. Y'all see that? I don't know how many times I was tripping the first time I seen people taking their selfie pictures like in public, and they was doing it with no shame. I mean, literally retaking pictures, posing in here. A female, she was doing all these particular poses, and I'm looking like, does she realize, you know, other people are around and anybody just watching? She don't give a damn. She's just doing this all day, and no, take another one, take another one, take it. I just seen the video. It was a brother at a gas station, and he asked another cat, could he take a picture in front of his Porsche so he could do it for the internet. The cat let him take his picture. He fronted like the car was his, posted on his Instagram, and then the Jake went and jumped in his little hoopty. He had some little red hoopty that he jumped in the car and jetted out with. But that's what happens when everything is about clout. It's about what it looks like. You could buy fake money on Amazon. You know, these Jakes got the money phones doing all this foolishness now, throwing it around, acting like they really got it. You see what happened when these Jakes got the little PPP money and EDD loans. First thing they wanted to do is jump on the gram and show how much what we got. Brother just went to jail. I think they gave him 14 years. He bought a chain, a Lamborghini, and some other foolishness with his money. Got nothing else to show for it because they want to chase the clout. They want to be seen like they're somebody. Write down 2 Timothy 3:1. And jump over to First Maccabees 5 and 55.
First Maccabees chapter 5, verse 55.
Mm-hmm.
Now what time as Judas and Jonathan were in the land of Gilead, and Simon his brother in Galilee before Ptolemy, Joseph the son of Zacharias and Azarias, captains of the garrisons, heard of the valiant acts and warlike deeds which they had done.
See, this is what we were talking about earlier. Constantly chasing the next person's, seeing what Judas and Jonathan had going on. Now, these was men that already had rank, but it wasn't good enough. They wanted to get where Judas and Jonathan were. They wanted those names. They wasn't good enough just being captains of the garrisons. Captains wasn't good enough. I want more. Go ahead.
Wherefore they said, let us also get us a name and go fight against the heathen that are round about us.
Mm-hmm.
So when they had given charge unto the garrison that was with them, they went toward Jamnia. Then came Gorgias and his men out of the city to fight against them. And so it was that Joseph and Azarias were put to flight and pursued unto the borders of Judea. And there were slain that day of the people of Israel about 2,000 men.
See that? Chasing clout can get people killed. Don't we see that on the internet now? Jason popping up. Yeah, I'm out here, got my chain on, got my rig, and next you know, shots fired live. Jake get put to death. Didn't that happen to the one Jake in Inglewood? Or what was he from? He was from Inglewood, but he got killed in Hawthorne. Indian Red. He's in the car talking crazy, laughing about, what they did to Nipsey Hussle's mural and whatever else they had going on. Jay got killed on his live. And you see that I've seen that on cats in down south, Chicago, all over the place, on live, searching for clout, talking crazy. I'm out here, I'm outside, niggas ain't gonna do nothing to me. Bah, 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 bah. And they like, ooh. But here you see these same type of cats, man. Joseph and Azariah said, man, they got put to flight. They got their butts whipped by Gorgias, and they ended up getting 2,000 of Israel put to death because they wanted to be somebody. They wanted their names out there. They wanted clout, and it came at a price. We can't get caught in that. The meek shall inherit the earth. Remember that. You can write down Sirach 12. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Last one we're going to close out with is Romans 13 and 11. Last one, 13 and 11. So there's many things that befall Israel, many things that we got to look out for, and there's probably others. That's just the things that popped in my head. So we got to be sober, be vigilant, be aware, always commit ourselves to examining ourselves, as it says in 2 Corinthians 13 and 5, examining ourselves, whether we be in the faith or not. It's a constant process that we have to go through. There's a lot of things we got to look out for. Most said he's going to set stumbling blocks before us. It's up to us to look for them. And if we find ourselves caught up in them, we got to fight and dig our way out. Go ahead and read that.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And that, knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep.
So the slumber of these stumbling blocks, man, it's time to wake up out of those. If you find yourself, I find myself a victim of any of these things, we got to seek the Most High to get up out of them. Because now it's time to wake up out of that sleep, out of that slumber, out of that trap. Go ahead.
For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Right. The doors of salvation, the knowledge of salvation, the opportunity for salvation is nearer than we believe. And don't waste the opportunity. The Most High said he's going to lay out these stumbling blocks. They out there. Look for them. Avoid them. Stay focused. Stay on the narrow path. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Right, Yahweh Shah.